Good evening. Good evening. Lakeisha McKnight is here, and I want to say welcome to Leadership TKO Night Show via podcast. Lakeisha McKnight is here. It's about 9:27. Yes, we are after the 9 o'clock hour, which is our normal time for the podcast. Excuse me, as of course I was hosting a class for authors, and so I wanted to make sure I was adequately serving them tonight. But I'm here, and nonetheless, you're probably getting access to this content if you're listening on demand. But if you're used to me being on the platform live, I am going to be notifying people in the group to join me now as I am live. So I'm just going to say that and that. Okay, and thank you. Thank you for joining me. So I appreciate your listenership. I did notice that there are so many of you from different places around the world that listen into this podcast and enable this brand to be a global brand. I saw that there are so many of you from the Philippines, from China, from the Virgin Islands, from Sweden, from France, from Germany, of South Africa, Canada, throughout the United States. I'm just appreciative. I'm really at awe, lost of words, because I only can attribute it to God, allowing you all to be able to be in contact with the Leadership TKO brand. And I wish that I can serve you in a greater fashion. I really do. If you're in need of leadership development for the women in your country, okay, you could be listening to this from France or from Sweden, wherever you are, the Netherlands, Australia. If you're listening to this and you want the women in your country to become greater leaders, myself and other members of the team that I have are readily available to come and to serve your group. All you need to do is simply visit leadershiptkoforwomen.com. Again, that's leadershiptkoforwomen.com. We're readily available to serve you. Now, Leadership TKO for Women is a subdivision, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a moment. But the Leadership TKO brand itself is housed under a limited liability company entitled the International Leadership Education and Development Company. And I want you to learn more about this company and the brand itself by visiting leadershiptko.com. Again, that's leadershiptko.com. And so with that brand, there are several subdivisions under it. There's Leadership TKO for authors. There's Leadership TKO for women, which is what I want to focus on tonight. When you go to leadershiptkoforwomen.com, you're going to learn all about the subdivision. But it actually helped to launch a campaign, which is a global women's leadership campaign that serves two purposes. Number one, to unify women, to love on each other, to support one another in our journey on this earth as leaders. And then number two, to bring awareness to women's issues that we face on a global scale and to bring to surface solutions that exist or create new ones that may be more effective and better to help us to grow. And so that's the purpose of this campaign. And if you feel that this is something that could be beneficial for your country, you want to partner with us in this journey. Now, when I say us, it's not just myself that's leading this campaign, but there are 5 other great women that's a part of this campaign that helped to launch it. And that's Takara Steele, Dr. Remy Douye, there's Shalia McDaniel, Maricela Messner, as well as Cheryl Harris Sutton. These great women helped to launch this particular campaign under the Leadership TKO for Women subdivision. There are various elements to the campaign. One of the elements is a book that we're collaborating on, and we're looking to have that book published in August of this upcoming summer. Okay? So when you go to leadershiptkoforwomen.com, you have more information on the website about that. Now, again, if you need assistance when it comes to building your leaders, if you're listening on the Spreaker platform to this podcast, simply leave a message in the comments area and we will connect with you. Now, if you're on Facebook or you're in the campaign group and you want to see a seminar or you want to see a conference in your state or your country, simply contact me on Facebook or contact one of the leaders on Facebook, and we will be in contact with you. Now, if you like any of the content that you hear tonight that's shared, anything resonates with you, hit that like button. Let us know that you like the content, you like this episode. That means a lot to me as well as the other members within this brand. So, as you may see, right, the subtopic tonight is women and how to really help women to deal with or better address the issue of anxiety. Okay, and we talked about yesterday 3 stages. We talked about the typical anxiety. We talked about general anxiety disorder, and then we talked about severe anxiety disorder. But what I want to do right now is talk to you about, things that we can do to help alleviate those stages of anxiety. Okay? Things that we can do. So bear with me here. How can we help those people who have typical anxiety? Here's what you can do. If you have typical anxiety, this is where it's usually caused by stress. It doesn't really last that long, but it's a warning sign. Okay? What you can do is exercise and have a healthy diet. Remember, now this is coupled together now. I am no fitness expert. I am no licensed clinical social worker, but I do have experience in the field of social sciences. Okay, for those of you who are wondering, in my formal education, yes, I do have a master's in social work. So if you're wondering if I do have some level of expertise in the topic. Okay, but what you can do as far as gaining help here is you can exercise and have a healthy diet. Exercise and have a healthy diet. Number 2, maybe limit your caffeine. Maybe you're just drinking too much caffeine, the coffee, right? If you're drinking a lot of Mountain Dews and other things that have caffeine in it, you want to limit that. Get enough sleep. Lord knows we need as much sleep as we can get, especially as women. We have so many things, roles that we play, hats that we wear. Yeah, we need to sleep. Of course, the average is 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Sometimes it can be hard to get it, but try to get it when you can. Take a nap during the day if you can. Sometimes those 10-minute power naps can help. Can I get an amen? Right? Engage in deep breathing or even yoga. Some of you may be good at yoga, so implement yoga into your schedule. And then also you can just listen to music. I'm an avid music listener. So I love music. I'm jamming in my car. I often call my car my worship mobile. That's right. You probably heard it correctly. My worship mobile. That's when it's me and Jesus, me and God in the car, and I'm getting it. Right? I'm singing. This is me singing unto the Lord, making that joyful noise. All right. But let's move on to the second stage of anxiety, which is the generalized anxiety disorder. We talked about some of the signs and symptoms yesterday, such as difficulty concentrating, fatigue, nausea, insomnia, getting startled easily, having a heart that's racing and being shaky. So what can you do to help? If you can't relax, you're so restless, what can you do to help this? Of course, you can take natural supplements, or perhaps meditation. Here's a big one. Exercising and eating healthy and getting enough sleep. That always works. Again, limit the caffeine. Here's a big one, ladies. Here's a super big one. I know you're probably going to say, oh my gosh, I don't do enough of this. Self-care. Self-care. Can I get an amen with this? This is super huge. How many of you are not taking care of yourself as well as you should? You're not really, I'm talking about getting your hair done. I'm talking about just soaking in a bath, right? Taking care of you. Even if you need to get a counselor or talk to a pastor or a spiritual leader, someone you can talk to is also healthy for you. And if you need medication, right, it can be beneficial, but I personally recommend medication for a short period of time because medications could be addictive and you don't want to be on medication your whole life. So if you're one of the people that's kind of like you're dependent on something, then medication is probably going to be your route, unfortunately. But if you know that you can have the enough internal motivation to do something to change your lifestyle, then you might only need medication for a short period of time and then begin to make some adjustments. Because I recommend, this is Lakeisha McKnight. I'm not a professional licensed social worker, okay? But I know Jesus is the way. He will help you to ease that anxiety. And I know it works because I used to be anxious. But the Bible talks about this. It says, be anxious for nothing. That's what it says. Okay? Now let's move into the third stage of anxiety, which is severe anxiety disorder. We talked about this last night as being severe, having severe panic attacks, feeling numb, detached, or that you're crazy. Sometimes you can feel that way. Maybe PTSD, or you have flashbacks, or intense fear. So what can you do to help in this stage? Here's what you do. If it's that severe, then yes, you're going to need medication. All right. You also will need probably some therapy coupled with that. And more specifically, cognitive behavioral therapy. There's a difference. And then, of course, there are some other types of therapies that deal with your emotions to kind of help you to manage it. And other psychological treatments. Okay, this is more minds, is really impacting your mind on a serious note where you can barely function. That's when you really need the help of medication and therapy. So hopefully, these recommendations you're finding it to be very helpful for you or for anyone else that you might know that's dealing with anxiety. Okay. Thank you so much, Janine. My faithful listener, Janine Harrod Brown, is listening live as I'm here. So thank you so much, Janine, for being present here. Appreciate you. All right. Feel free again, if you're listening live, like the episode, share this podcast. There should be a share button somewhere where you can share it online, letting people know that you're listening to me live, and people can join in if they want to connect and learn about the topic of anxiety this week, because that's our focus for this week, anxiety. So we've wrapped up there. We're going to be talking about a lot of other self-help things that you can do to battle and overcome this anxiety, because this is big. A lot of women suffer from this, but they don't acknowledge it as anxiety. It's not professionally diagnosed. Okay. So we're going to talk about this a bit more on tomorrow. But if you feel like, man, this is some good stuff, and you want your group, you want to be connected yourself officially, I'm going to refer you to a website that's going to take you to a questionnaire. And it's www.born2lead2017.com. Again, it's Born to Lead, BORNTOLEAD 2017.com. And it's going to take you to a questionnaire. Complete the questionnaire. It takes up only about 2 minutes, probably less than that, to complete it. And it's going to direct you to a group on Facebook where all of the women are hanging out. We got a few hundred women, I think it's probably close to 1,400 now. Our goal is to get 10,000 women in that group. With you being added to the number, it's going to help us to reach that goal quicker. Okay? So I appreciate you. It's not about me. It's not about the other ladies. It's us. This is a women's campaign. I might have brought the idea to fruition, but the concept, the campaign itself is us, is ours. So for example, we have a convention coming up in Portsmouth, Virginia. It's not Lakeisha's convention, it's our convention. So I tell the other ambassadors and the other leaders that are part of this, if you want this convention to be successful, you have to go out there and do the footwork. Okay? You really do. Or unless you have, of course, you want to chip in and financially hire a marketing and PR agent to go out there and do this footwork, you have to get out there and hit the pavement and let people know about the event and about this campaign. That's the only way that you're going to get it done. You're going to learn a lot of lessons along the way and a lot of skills. You're going to build that muscle strength, right? But this is what it's all about. It's about being professional. It's about getting it done. It's about letting people know about the campaign, doing whatever you need to do to make it happen. It means church groups. That means sororities. This means NAACP, whatever groups that you know. Hey, get them connected. Okay. Definitely let them visit the website for the convention. It's leadershiptkoconvention.com. We have a promotional code that's still being used because this is a gift, an informational gift for the public. And again, that website is leadershiptkoconvention.com. The code is Mother's Day, no capital letters, no spaces, no apostrophes. Okay? Again, that's leadershiptkoconvention.com, and Mother's Day is the code, and it will be a gift to you. The value of this is way beyond $125, but we have a gift for you to sow into your life. Okay? So get it plugged in, get it plugged in, get it plugged in. What we're going to probably start doing starting probably tomorrow, I'm going to be probably going live every single day, going ham live, just letting people know about the convention. If you want to join in with me and let people know about the convention and go live every single day on your timeline, feel free to do that. It's really up to you. I know that I am, because I'm committed. I'm committed to this campaign. I'm committed to the cause. And so feel free to do so as well. But I thank you so very much for being a part tonight, listening in live, listening into this episode on demand. Wherever you're listening in from, I appreciate your listenership. Get connected, borntolead2017.com. I'll see you, of course, inside of the group. We also have our first lesson, our first business training that's going to be held tomorrow, Sales and Marketing 101. So you'll learn more about that inside of the campaign group on Facebook. We're also having our next guest on the reality show. We're going to be having our next guest tomorrow as well at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we have some great stuff coming up, a part of this campaign. And the only way you're going to get details about it is when you join the campaign officially at www.borntolead2017.com. Again, I appreciate you. We're going to be back here tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Actually, let me make sure that I'm clear here. We'll be here at 9 o'clock-ish, because I know that the interview is at 8:30. So about 9 o'clock-ish, and maybe around 9:15, the latest, that we're going to be here live tomorrow with our episode. But thank you so much. Until then, remember to think, speak, and live leadership. God bless.